But I'm saying, you still go ahead and contest. The Beneche say your Jan's judgment is better than any other.
Oh, only most strength moves up for sure.
And so what?
National organizer, now general secretary, or a deputy organizer to some of a year organizer. So, one more you pay. Wouldn't say, party, a bit more than one leaving the party.
Now, Yaujan no Cansano. Wouldn't say Quabrando for President Mahama, Womunina Kambumwa, Emwa party no. So according to only logic, you know. Then we could campaign manager for Dr. Adolfo say, or no competition imra. Na Oba Beka say competition ebe divide the party.
I see.
So it tells you, so no one statement now making no any logical
or
contradicting. But I don't want to discuss those things.
Yeah.
But Saudi will need to for more. Almost everybody else who is attacking my decision to contest, you know, have something to do with Dr. Dufour's campaign. Say a coincidence here, meaning.
Oh, I see. Me said I'm money and trending. Apart from you're watching there, I'm in Nakasa.
And now, Coco in the hotel.
Oh, Coco, so I see what dear. A crembius of the first one woman, chairman of your bay on what?
Wouldn't say or no so on Dr. Dufour and them.
Ah, meaning, sir.
Tama ye at a Mills ne anniversary.
Yeah.
Tell him so on only event here, organize their confront two party, no. Dr. Dufour supporters in Ekotanaho.
Oh, I see.
In support of Cocoing the whole event here. Oh, yeah, 85 party. And you know, say Nipasa, now from the beginning, no, Wamukra can say Dr. Dufour and all sponsor me a mama be chairman. Nama pevu we say or no bit me a be flag bearer. Say no so
no.
Very well. Na say no kura na che say me Dr. Dufour nenam.
Right.
How come say one more attack me no nyina so Dr. Dufour come?
Joanna sponsor, Joanna sponsor.
No, I'm asking.
No, but visa question, Joanna.
David, let's answer those questions first. How come say me the member say Dr. Dufour the member Nama be pevu we say the ambitions of becoming a flag bearer ebe materialize here. Say all those who are with Dr. Dufour should be happy. Say me member Namatimi Ababe yi John Mahama hodi Dr. Dufour number. Enti woman so a edi na chia omo ne no nam no. Say woman so woman ambition ne say Dr. Dufour be flag bearer. How come say chairman bi ba no na be pevu we ama Dr. Dufour abeye flag bearer? The same campaign group for no woman attack is our chairman chief candidate no.
Now,
there is no logic.
But what decide your mama say? Obi sana for approval, so it should be a contest like mama say when na kasa when they didn't come.
Oh, nkoma me nim panimfo edidi no party no mu no. I don't come out to talk about it.
There be na we home support. I mean the former president say
nkoma me madi ewo panimfo no anim no. Enya dia for public consumption.
But we say His Excellency John Mahama
support. Obe contest position. As I say, what says he was strength say. A Juma is me kwakoye. Do I have what it take to do it?
Okay.
Of the program. It's always a pleasure to come to you on a Thursday like this. Tonight we're going to start with a topic that's not so gloomy. We're going to have a Galamsey conversation with somebody who, as I said, is coming to us from the pit in the Ashanti region, but he will come next week. He's busy and he's also being interrogated by other state institutions because this man has a lot of information. So he's giving information to all kinds of institutions and investigative agencies. Next week he will join us. He's a former member of parliament and he has quite a bit of information so we can understand what's happening with this whole Galamsey issue. That was to have been our topic today. But then as we're thinking about what to do today, the general complaint about every Ghanaian or every young person interested in this republic today is about the value of the city. And people, when we got into the studio today, it started from 13 this morning. By the time we go into the studio, we are here, it could be 15, 14, 13.8. So we're going to have a conversation with you, our viewers, about how are you responding to the depreciation of the Ghanaian cedi. In doing so, we did some research to look at what is happening, and we pulled out an article that is predicting a lot of gloom for African economies, and we'll show you that article, but then we'll give you the opportunity to speak to us from wherever you are, in whichever part of Ghana, or if you are not in Ghana, but you are a Ghanaian, and you feel strongly about it, call us and tell us, how is the cedi situation affecting you? Because we also had some conversations this afternoon about people who say they live in a village and cedi doesn't affect them, but then transportation fares affects them, doesn't it? Okay, so we would like to talk to you tonight about that. We'll spend some 45 minutes to interact with our viewers, those of you who watch the shows and give us all the high ratings. We'd like to interact with you and let you tell us how you are feeling about this situation. Hopefully next week, our team at the Washington, D.C., engaging with the International Monetary Fund, led by Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta, will return to Ghana, and then they will be able to come into the studio, this studio and other studios across the country, to tell us what is in the offing with our conversations with the IMF. This looks like a real global problem. There was a Twitter account today that posted something that I'm interested in relating to the economic situation. I'll show that to you as well as we get on with it. So good evening and welcome to the show. We don't have a great story for you today because we are starting on the notes that the economic situation is getting dire, and it appears is happening across the world. We have kept an eye on the political situation in the UK, but we have thought of it as secondary tonight because we are not UK citizens, and whatever happens in the UK is good for our learning, but we cannot highlight that when we have real economic difficulties. At least today, everyone is talking about the cedi. And so we're going to have a conversation about that in our first instance, and that's going to start about 9:30. It's going to take us all the way past 10. We'll want to take as many as 10 phone calls. We would also like to talk to people who are economists of some sort and who have an idea of what they think should be done that's not being done. We know that Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta has consulted across board many different people on how to manage the situation. But those of you who are economists, and you don't have to mention your name or where you work, you can use any other name. But if you have an opinion on what you think should be done that has not been done, we'd like to hear you about that. And then we'll talk about our friend Johnson Asiedu Nketia. Now, you saw the video that we just showed you in the intro. Asiedu Nketia is pandering to President Mahama, and he's selling himself to President Mahama that I am your candidate, and that the other people, they are with Dr. Duffuor, and that's interesting. So we're going to interrogate that. We'll play that video again. Asiedu Nketia, I told you, he's a very clever man, and this is a very clever thing to do. If I were President Mahama and Asiedu Nketia and Fosun Pofu are running for office, I would look at which of them is going to be more loyal to me. And President Mahama is the obvious front runner in this election. We know that. That is the election to elect the NDC's flag bearer. He's the obvious front runner. And so if he gets the sense that one of the chairmen is with me, the other one is against me, well, then maybe he would. But the statement that Fosun Pofu issued the other day was also, in response to Asiedu Nketia, was also very gentle on President Mahama. But Asiedu Nketia is going full throttle. He's telling President Mahama that I'm your man. These people are Dr. Duffuor's people, so let's get on with it. Okay, we'll get to that in a minute and deal with that. Also, yesterday, many of you young people kept your eyes on your television set and watching on Facebook, social media, and on Ghana Television, the broadcast of the appointment committee hearings of nominated persons for the Supreme Court. Tonight, what are we going to do? We're going to bring to you all the photographs of the entire Supreme Court that we have right now. We will tell you those who are retiring next year. Incidentally, that includes His Lordship, the Chief Justice, Mr. Justice Eni Yeboah, is retiring next year. And so, President Akufo-Addo, the lot has fallen on him once again to appoint a third, would it be a third? Is it second or third? So President Akufo-Addo appointed third, actually. He appointed Justice Sophia Kofu when he became president on the retirement of Justice Georgina Wood. And after Justice Sophia Kofu, President Akufo-Addo appointed Mr. Justice Eni Yeboah. He will now have the opportunity next year by March to appoint a third Chief Justice. Not in the history of the Fourth Republic have we had one president who has had the opportunity to appoint 3 Chief Justices. that will be the responsibility that the president will be discharging next year, to make him the president to have appointed 3 Chief Justices. Now, we're going to look at the list of the remaining judges after the retiring judges go away next year. And we're going to begin a wild speculation of who and whom would be the next Chief Justice. So that's coming up. It's a speculative conversation, so you can wait for that. It's now 29 minutes to the top of the hour. We do have some birthday dedications, and my own minister lady and mentor, Asla Owusu, Minister for Communication, Member of Parliament for Ablekuma, is celebrating her birthday today. Congratulations, Madam Asla Owusu. She has fought a real big political fight. She sacrificed herself, Asla I'm talking about. Asla Owusu has sacrificed herself, her image, and she's been abused and insulted because she wanted to establish that women can also have a voice in this politics. She has been brutally rounded on programs here at Metro TV, on Good Morning Ghana. They've called her all sorts of names, but she has withstood that in presenting herself as a sacrificial lamb, so that today girls can rise up and speak politics. And you go to Parliament and you see all the women, and you see all the women being appointed by President Akufo-Addo. We have to partly give it to Esla. She stood her ground 2007, 2008. Here was a lady who was beaten up, brutalized, put in a gutter by Neil Ante van der Poel and the group in the 2012 election when she was monitoring a registration. They did all sorts of things to her, but she stood her ground, and people have always granted her with a great sense of intelligence. Esla Owusu, if you talk to her or you listen to her, you know that it's a very, very intelligent woman. Of course, she's a lawyer, and she has faced it, and she has overcome. She's been a great minister. In 2018 or so, they were talking about Ministers of the Year, and many NDC people felt that the Minister for Communication, now Communication and Digitalization, Asla Owusu, has done a very good job. Today is her birthday, and we celebrate you, Madam. Thank you very much for all that you have done for the young Ghanaian woman. Just by looking at you and looking at the way you express yourself, women have gained the confidence to be able to have a voice in politics, and nobody now calls them all the names that you were called anymore. Even if they do, it's minimal to kind of abuse that you suffered. We are sorry for all the abuse, but we congratulate you and we thank you for standing your ground and maintaining the posture. Congratulations, today is your birthday. Have a happy birthday, Asla Owusu Ekofo. Okay, then last Tuesday was also the birthday of my good friend, and somehow we forgot, you see. We're going to, Tuesday we had a bit of production difficulty, so it sort of escaped everyone. We're going to present a montage for Dr. Owusu Efiri Akoto, Minister for Agriculture. Tuesday was his birthday. I'm delighted. Okay, welcome back to the show. Happy birthday to Dr. Owusu Efiri Akoto and Asla Owusu. Now we're going for our what will now become our customary Chinese introduction to the show in Mandarin, Chinese language Mandarin. And after that, we'll take a break, and then we come and begin the conversation with you, our viewers, about the economic situation. Later on, we talk about the NDC contest, and then we'll give you information about, from what you saw yesterday with the nominations at the Supreme Court, we'll tell you what else is going to happen at the Supreme Court. What is going to happen, the big story is that the learned Chief Justice, Mr. Justice Eni Yeboah, is going to leave upon the attainment of the age of 70, compulsory retirement by the Constitution. President Akufo-Addo will have to appoint another person, not necessarily from the current Supreme Court. He can do it from anywhere. That's part of the revelations that we'll bring to you, and then we can look at it, put it down, so that when it happens, you can say we predicted right, we predicted wrong, or we gave you a sense of what is likely to happen. Okay, let me come over and get an introduction at what's the time now? 23 minutes. 23 minutes to the top of the hour, 10 o'clock. So, introduce us with Mandarin to Good Evening Ghana tonight.
大家好，晚上好，我们又回到了晚上好加纳的另一集节目。我们都知道，加纳的货币就是加纳赛币正在贬值，这是所有加纳人的日益关注的问题。今晚在节目上，我们也会讨论这个问题的，所以你们一定要坐下来享受我们带给你们的内容。谢谢。
So what does that mean in English? What did you say?
I welcomed everybody to the Good Evening Ghana show, and I spoke about the depreciation of the Ghanaian currency, which is a growing concern for each and every Ghanaian currently. And I told everybody that we are coming to talk about that this evening, so they should relax and enjoy the show.
Oh, wow. Fantastic, fantastic. Okay, Eunice can also say that in French, but she will say that when we come back from the commercial break. So get your pen and paper. Have we given them the number they should be calling yet? Okay, I'm sure they'll put it on the screen in a minute. So get your pen and paper. After the commercial break, we get into that very serious conversation before we talk about the rest of the politics. This is Good Evening Ghana. It's live. After the break, we are talking about the depreciation of the Ghanaian cedi and the general economic situation right here on Good Evening Ghana.
World Cup 2022. Maybe say baby say phone bang, home theater bang, TV bang so number no.
Hisense TV.
Hisense TV.
Hisense TV. Hisense TV.
What's your World Cup for Hisense TV? Picture size here. Picture no. Clear. Momentum full way now. So connect to Hisense home theater and the more Hisense TV. Commentary no. Over to say gig him. As a original hobby. Kenya say, yes, that's the World Cup match. Now what can traffic me? And when you have Hisense smartphone and dancing, shower phone so picture the sound, and clear. Qatar 22 World Cup. Yeah, person will share no feeling. Yeah, them sense so tons for my head. Madam Hisense, Martin to say, who? Enter your 20 day. Hisense World Cup triple promo. Every 20th October, coming 28th November. Mobile phone, sound system, TV, one Tobia, one yo home. Yeah, that's a crime, I'm real. Hisense one about 5 years warranty. Promo way, our Hisense showrooms now. Our Ghana for Nina. Hisense, everyday prices for everyday people.
Okay, so once we have taken an introduction in English and Mandarin, and the introduction tells our viewers what we're going to be discussing tonight in the first instance, which is the economic situation, please I'm looking for very important contributions on the phone. Very, very important contributions. Not so political. You can be political if you want, that's okay. But be political in decorum. Okay, no problem about that. Okay, Eunice, how do we introduce our French viewers to the show?
Bonsoir voisins, voisins et bienvenue sur le programme Good Evening Ghana. Aujourd'hui, nous discutons une chose très fantastique sur la dépréciation du CD ghanéen. Est-ce qu'il y a un espoir pour les Ghanéens? Quelles sont les causes de ces problèmes? Détendez-vous et profitez du spectacle. Bonsoir. Over to you, Paul.
All right, excellent. So that's Eunice. So it's time now for them to put up the phone number to tell you how to react. Okay, so let's put this conversation in a proper perspective right now. So as we always do on Good Evening Ghana, we are looking for a production topic. We're always doing that. And so Tuesday's program is over. Wednesday, we're thinking through, all of us in different places. And then by Wednesday evening, it's coming together. Thursday, way back deep into Thursday, we still didn't have a production topic. And we just comb around social media, see what people are talking about. We're reading the newspapers, we're looking online. The big global story, of course, is the UK story. We'll come to that maybe on Tuesday. But then we noticed that increasingly, across social media, many young people, that's the bulk of our viewers, are young people from the age of maybe 27 to about 45, and then we do have some older people as well. We like them a lot because they give us a lot of wisdom. All the text that the older people send, it guides us into how to fashion this program, and so we're very excited about them. But the young people are more, and everyone seems to be talking about the currency depreciation. Now, I spoke to a few people. One guy told me that I don't spend dollar, and another guy said, but if you don't spend dollar, the transport fares will go up and it will affect you. And he says, well, I don't go anywhere, you know. And some people say people in the village don't feel it. But once it goes into transport, it goes into food prices. And there's a lot going on. I've put a call through to the people in Washington. I think they're arriving sometime at the end of this week. Next week, they promised to tell all Ghanaians what has happened. Hopefully, we'll get an interview here of one of them. But if we don't, I guess Kenneth Ofori-Atta will do another press conference and he'll speak to all Ghanaians, and they'll be on other stations as well. Then you can listen to them. We've asked them for an interview. If they do give us the interview, they'll be here. Otherwise, we'll hear them they probably will be on other stations. They'll be on City, they'll be on Joy, they'll be everywhere. We will get the information anyway because we need to hear from the people at Ministry of Finance and the Bank of Ghana what is really happening. But in setting the perspective and setting the context for this conversation, I found this article that I would like us to look at. It's entitled "Trouble for the African Economy as the World Heads into a Global Recession," according to a UN report. And this is the details. It says, while the financial markets of some African countries, and I'd like at this stage, so the number is on 055 050 0670. Now, when you call, the receiver, the one who receives the phone call, would ask you what you want to say so that they will tell me what you want to say, and then we can have the conversation in proper perspectives. So somebody's going to pick the call and say, hello, this is Good Evening Ghana. You say, your name is Kofi Mensah. I want to contribute to the program. You say, Kofi Mensah, what would you like to say? Then you say, I'd like to say that the government has done a very bad job. Okay, so he will tell me, Kofi Mensah is on the line. He's going to say the government has done a very bad job. So as soon as you come, I'm going to say, Kofi Mensah, why do you say the government has done a bad job? And then we can have a useful conversation. So please pay attention. That person who speaks to you is not wanting to cut you off. He's just trying to extract from you what you want to say so we can have a useful conversation. So please indulge us in that regard. 055 050 0670. Let's get back onto the article. While the financial markets of some African countries are afloat, others are not so fortunate. And then this is the story. The United Nations Conference on Trade and Development, UNCTAD, recently reported that developed and developing nations are at the risk of a recession following high inflationary rates that are likely to inflict worse damage than the 2020 pandemic. A global recession will most likely spell disaster for African nations that are already struggling with stabilizing their economies. Global trade will take a huge hit as prices of imported goods, which a lot of African countries are reliant on, will skyrocket. A global recession will most likely affect African exports as well as exchange rates against the dollar, the Trade and Development Report 2022 says. So it's important we look at this. It says a global recession will most likely affect African exports as well as exchange rates against, in particular, the dollar. Ghana is taking a major hit in that area. Today's growth performance points to a troubling pattern. UNCTAD assessment is that the trend is worsening, with growth expected to accelerate in 2023 to 2.2%. The UNCTAD 2022 report, subtitled Development Prospects in a Fractured World, Global Disorder and Regional Responses, says, quote, the estimated 2.5 growth in 2022 is less than half of the growth rate of 5.6 in 2021, when economic activity resumed after the sharpest recession in living memory. That's COVID, I'm sure. Quote, the two processes put upward pressure on both producer and consumer prices, even before the war in Ukraine, pushing inflation in advanced economies above established monetary targets, and many emerging and developing economies to a level not seen since the first Gulf War in early 1990s. The reports read in parts. Okay, so this is a sort of a global financial report situation that puts our conversation into perspective. It's time now to speak to our people, and if we have somebody on the phone, let's get the person on. Let's put the number on again. We now have some 13 minutes to the top of the hour, 10 o'clock. Imoro Mohammed from the Upper West region. He's on the line now. Let's take him. Hello, Imoro.
Yeah, good evening.
Hello?
Yeah, good evening.
Yes, good evening.
Yeah.
Moro, you want to speak about the depreciation. What do you do? Are you a student? Do you work?
I think I'm a teacher.
Hello?
Yeah, I'm a teacher, please.
You're a teacher, okay. So you're like a trained teacher, you teach JSS or SSS?
I teach in the junior high school.
Say that again, you teach where?
I'm a teacher in the junior high school.
You're a teacher in the junior high school, okay. So tell us about how is it going? How are you relating to the cedi depreciation? When did you first become alarmed? Was it when it became 9, it became 10, 11, 12? When did you first become alarmed?
I think when you look at the issue of
give me a paper. Listening to you, Moro.
Yeah, I think when the city actually got to 9 to 10, I think it actually pricked me.
Do you trade? How does the dollar affect you? What has changed? Your salary is smaller. What has changed?
Yeah, I think apart from the fact that it has an impact on my salary, I also want to put the issues in perspective, more especially looking at it from the European.
Hi, are you still talking, Moro?
Yeah, I'm talking.
Okay, you said you are looking at it from which perspective?
I don't want us to look at the issues in just within the Ghana context. When you relate it to other countries, the USA, France, and then looking at it from the European zone as a whole. From the USA perspective, the UK perspective, and then the European zone perspective, which are models that we are all, looking up to. I think, so you can appreciate the fact that this issue is not only Ghana related.
Is somebody talking to him? Okay, this issue is not just Ghana related. Hello, Moro, is someone speaking to you?
No, please.
Please lower the volume on your TV. My people are telling me to lower the volume on your TV. And please, receiver, when you take the call, tell them to lower the volume on their TV. Yeah, Moro, so let's wrap up with you. You are saying that the situation is not about just Ghana, it's happening everywhere in the world. Is that a point you're making? Moro's line is not that clear. Okay, Moro, we have to take you off because we have other people on the phone. But thank you very much. That was Moro talking. We're asking our viewers to talk to us about the depreciation of the cedi and the general economic situation, how it's affected you one way or the other. Our first caller is a guy called Moro. He's called from the Upper West region, and he says he's a teacher. It has affected his salary. It wasn't clear what he was saying. It takes a while for us to hear what he said. I hope it's not the distance of the call, but so we're waiting for our next caller now. It's now 9 minutes to the top of the hour, 10 o'clock. We want to take at least 10 calls about this economic situation here in Ghana, which is affecting almost everything and almost everyone. Our main economic handlers, those officials at the Ministry of Finance and at the Ministry and at the Bank of Ghana are away in Washington, D.C., having conversations with the International Monetary Fund because Ghana has indicated that they want to sign up to an IMF program so that the IMF will supervise the distribution of resources in the economy and will also help Ghana to get a better rating so that other people who want to give money to Ghana will be confident in giving money to Ghana because we have IMF supervision. Usually they say that governments misspend, and so once the IMF is there, the government will not misspend, and then people who are lending their money to us will be more confident in lending the money to us. That's what we have been told in layman's language about why we need to engage with the IMF in these circumstances. So that's happening right now. We just don't know the details. Recent interview granted to the minority ranking member of the Finance Committee, Mr. Kaysel Atuforsen. Mr. Kaysel Atuforsen said he thinks that the IMF program will not happen until the first quarter. Let me get that information again. Saeed is calling from Bro Hafo. Okay. Let's get Said on the line now. Hello, Said.
Hello, Paul.
Hi.
I'm good. I believe you're doing too.
Yes, we are fine.
We thank God. Yeah, so Paul, I want to talk about the cedi reposition.
Yes.
And what some of the possible measures we should be doing, like we should be looking at, so that we can reduce the burden on the city.
No, say that again.
There's
Say some of the words. Sorry, Said.
I don't get.
Yes. Said, go back. Say that again. Say some of the burden on the city. I didn't get it.
Yes, the burden that is on the city now, the pressure that's on the city now.
Yes, tell me.
Yes, as a layperson, I don't understand why we cannot put our foot down and then cause a ban on the importation of certain goods. There are certain goods that we have already in this country, tons and tons of them in warehouses. That if we should ban importation of them right now, I think for the next 6 months, 1 month, we will not suffer any limitation in getting them.
What are some of these goods?
Goods like toiletries, imported goods, second-hand clothes. These are in warehouses, stuffed. We can serve our purposes for the next 1 or 2 years. And so, if currently we are to place a ban on some of these things, I think it will help. At least people are buying dollars and putting them down. They don't have need for them currently to import things right now, but they are the ones buying the dollars and hiding them. And then looking at I know when we did this structural adjustment, something, we came out and said we want to do we want to operate a liberal environment and all that. I think we should be looking at it again. In these times, we should look at that. Why can't we bring about some form of price? At least people have taken advantage of the situation and are increasing prices of things just anyhow. And it's not helping. It's not helping the ordinary person. It's not helping. And so I think we should be looking at these possible things. It may help some way, somehow. Yes, it may help. And then the Bank of Ghana, why don't they make their measures so stringent that commercial banks do not give the dollars to the black marketers? I know in other jurisdictions, it's not easy to come about Forex. It's not just easy. You go through a lot of documentation. Over here, I think it's very easy for our guys in the black market, in the black market to lay their hands on the city. And I think it is not helping. It's not helping. I think.
Okay, so I see your two solutions are that ban the importation of certain things that have been imported already. They are in warehouses, and you think what is in the warehouse can take another 6 weeks. Your other allegation is that it is these business people who go to the market on the speculation and buy the dollars when they don't need it, just to keep it so that they can import later. So that should be checked. And then the third thing you say is that the Bank of Ghana, the regulator, should tell commercial banks that you cannot give dollar to black markets or forex bureaus, and that way the dollar will be kept. Are these your 3-point solutions?
That is what I'm looking at. As a layperson, I don't know if the experts can come up with something to back these things, but I think these are some of the conversations that we are having, we have on the streets, and I think we should look at that.
Do you have confidence in the government to be able to turn this around?
Oh yes.
Yes.
Oh
Why?
yes. Oh yes. Oh yes. I think what we need currently to do as citizens is to give the government that political backing. That political backing. You see, when people try to exploit the situation politically, the government kind of wants to falter in pushing the will. You see, we should give the government the political backing. But too much politicking with this current situation, when we know it's a global trend, when we know the world is moving into a recession, it's not helping the situation too.
Okay, thank you very much. So we continue with the conversation. 055 0500670. Please give us a call. We will be able to take a few more calls on that. The second caller was very interesting. So he has a 3-point solution. He says that that's going to be very difficult, and he's right. The structural adjustments program that Ghana signed up onto the World Bank program in the late 1980s required that we liberalize, and so we became a neoliberal economy. That means that everything is liberalized. There's no controls in terms of markets. So we are operating a full-blown market where demand and supply is the boss. So government cannot implement. So if people bring rice in and they decide that a kilogram of rice was selling at 100 cedis, but now they want to sell at 600 cedis. There's no regulation against that. So you decide when they want to buy it at 600 cedis, and then if somebody is selling at 400 cedis, people will go and buy the 400 one. So the market is deregulated. Same with the petroleum market. The fuel market is deregulated. It's not the same in other countries. It's not the same in other West African countries, actually. It's regulated. But here it's deregulated because for many years, government was paying subsidies on petroleum, and it sort of ballooned the government debt. And so those of you who are older a little bit, you've seen in many budgets the so-called Tamayo refinery debts and etc., etc. So that was it. That has now been overcome. So it's liberal. So you have to go to the pump and pay the price that the person selling the petrol will make reasonable profit from and make sense for him to continue to bring you the petrol. The government doesn't get in. Government doesn't subsidize anything. The only thing government is subsidizing now, well, not the only thing, but the major thing government is subsidizing now is secondary school education. Government is paying the school fees and paying the boarding fees of our secondary school kids. And that has become, of course, as you all know, a major conversation about whether that should be stopped or that should continue, etc. I am for that should continue. There are some who think that should stop. But this guy's prescriptions are also very interesting. But within the neoliberal context, we can't do that. So maybe we are coming to the point where we have to review our economic philosophy, a neoliberal economic philosophy. Maybe that's not work for Ghana. Now, neoliberal is what the World Bank has been prescribing for a long time for all African countries that the World Bank has been working with and the IMF has been working with. Some countries don't do that fully. Zimbabwe, South Africa, they have a few restrictions here and there. We don't at all. But let's see whether in these circumstances, perhaps the Bank of Ghana people and the Ministry of Finance people will have to review our economic philosophy as a country. So Ghanaians can see dollar every now and then. In some West African countries, they've never seen a $100 bill before because they don't encounter the dollar. They don't deal with it. They don't have anything to do with it. They buy the thing in the naira. They don't even know. If you ask ordinary Nigerians 10,000 naira is how much dollar, they probably will not know. You know, because they really don't do that. If you go to the French countries, if in West, Cote d'Ivoire, Guinea-Bissau, Mali, they don't know anything about dollar. They know their currency. They probably will know the euro, but they don't have any relationship with the dollar. Here in Ghana, the dollar is all over the place because we are neoliberal. That's what makes our economy also great in great times. In normal times, our economy is great. Any investor would like to work in Ghana because in Ghana is liberal. You can sell it for what price you want to sell it. There are no price controls. So many investors would like to come to Ghana. So that's the advantage. That's the good side. The downside is that when you have these kind of economic crises that don't come every day anyway, they come once in a blue moon, but when they come, you get very badly hit. And that's what happened to the United Kingdom recently when the pound had to slide below the dollar over after many decades. That has never happened. For some of us, in our lifetime, we have never seen the pound come below the dollar, but it did recently because of all of these things. Yes, who do I have on the line? Master Planner Jr. is calling us from Kintampo. Hello.
Yes, good evening, Mr. Paul.
Good evening, sir.
God bless you abundantly for the marvelous work you are doing for Mother Ghana. Let me use this opportunity to greet His Excellency, President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo and his Vice, Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia, the digitized man, and all Ghanaians. Paul, one thing all
You sound like a member of the NPP.
Exactly, and I'm a Ghanaian too.
Okay, all right. Let's hear you then.
Whether a member of MPP or NDC, we are all Ghanaians, but we have to face the reality. Paul, as I talk to you now, the pound sterling has also depreciated against the dollar. The yen has also depreciated against the yen. It's not only the Ghana cedis. Paul, if you look at the trend of the Ghana cedis, always when we are entering into Christmas, it always what? Depreciates due to what? The high importation and stuff. So we are unfortunate. This time around, it came earlier. So Ghanaians will be what? A bit patient because we are going to experience more depreciation. And Paul, I'm going to use this opportunity to tell Ghanaians that the MPP has a lot of good things to offer Ghanaians. We shouldn't be thinking about bringing NDC back because the alternative is empty. The alternative is scary. Look at the
no. You are getting too political. Yeah, you can keep that. Tell us what is your experience with the cedi depreciation?
My experience with the cedi depreciation is that, as I told you earlier on, when we are entering into Christmas, the cedi always what? Depreciates. And this time around, we are not fortunate it has come so early. So we are begging the government, as my brother said, we should reduce the importation, because the one district, one factory, we can manufacture so many things in Ghana that we will not import. We have rice factories that what we can process rice and even export, because one district, one factory can what go with what one village, one dam, and then what planting for food and jobs. If we are going to what as a government, these policies, if we are going to collaborate and then what align them well, we will reduce the importation.
What do you do? What work do you do? Are you a trader?
Yes, I do trade. I'm a teacher. I'm a trader. I also farm. So you can see the cycle. The government has a lot of policies, as I said. So Ghanaians should bed down and then come down and then what support the government. We shouldn't be politicizing everything.
Is that what you would tell? Is that what you would tell a Ghanaian for whom life is completely unbearable? A Ghanaian who was thinking of the dollar and had priced something to buy, and the dollar was 11, and the dollar this morning is 13.8. Is that what you're going to tell him, that he should have patience?
Yes, because Paul, this government took the dollar at which rate? The previous government took the dollar at which rate? The dollar keeps on increasing. And what you are telling Ghanaians is that let us all what? Use the what? Ghana manufactured goods. We should what? Be using, like if it is Ghana rice, let's all enjoy the Ghana rice more. We shouldn't be overburdened on what? Foreign goods. The luxury for foreign goods is what is causing all this mess. And then those selling the dollars by the road, we have to also put measures to what? Keep those instances. It's also part of the reason the dollar is what? Going far from the cities. The city depreciating that dollar. If you go to foreign countries, you can't just go by the road and then be what? Buying monies. Nobody should also be allowed to take what? Ghana cedis outside the country. If you are going to travel, you should know the measures what? The amount of money you can take out of the country, the amount of money you should bring what? Inside the country. And then one key thing is what? The importation of the goods. Our leaders should what? Put measures in place. This is why Guta and staff are all going or what? On strike. They are locking up their
Is Guta not, are they not the people who import? Is it not Guta that imports?
Yes, they import. So we should put measures in place that their importation what? The Guta will go and then be importing things like toothpick and stuff. And then today they are telling us what? They are closing the shops. And one thing too, the government can also put measures in place. Maybe let's say the dollar, we are going to peg it 6 months. This is the rate you are going to watch. Though it's going to be a very difficult task, but you have to get an average, let's say 3 months. Or if it is every 3 months, you know, something like the petrol, it is by weekly that they review the petrol prices. So we can equally do same to the dollar. Let's say every 3 months or every 6 months, then we review to see whether we should what? Increase it or reduce it. It is also going to help the traders who import and then what? Export. It's one of the things that is...
You are saying that we should artificially peg the dollar?
Yeah, we can do that, Mr. Paul. If we are going to do that maybe for 3 months or 6 months, it's going to, at least we will have average price between what the dollar and then what the cedis. It is going to help the businessmen who what import and then also what export. But in the importation there, we are begging the government, we know he's capable of doing, he should reduce the importation because it's one of the reasons the dollar keeps on what rising. But
how will government impose how will government restrict the importation? So regulation.
As I told you earlier on, one district, one factory is ongoing. Planting for food and jobs is also ongoing. So if you collaborate with these two projects or agendas, you can easily reduce most of the importation, because we have, I don't know, is it in Western region or something? We've currently discovered, is it steel, something like steel, the natural material that we extract steel from.
Lithium. It's called lithium.
Exactly. So we can what? Go into all these sectors and then what? Process most of the things in this country. It will help. It will go a long way. Help to what? Reduce the importation. We have so many things we can do in this country, but the government should what? Support, because we know he's supporting already. We have Anglo Gold Ashanti that collapsed. The government pumped money and then it has revived. We have so many factories that collapsed. Casapreco, it collapsed. The government pumped money inside and then it has revived. He can do it. President Nana, we trust you. So we are begging the importation that we can reduce it. He should focus and then what? Reduce. And we are begging him to, some of the comments and stuff, he shouldn't be listening to naysayers and stuff. If not, they will provoke him. So he should focus and then deliver. Ghanaians have hope in him. Even if he comes in 2024, we will vote for him. But he can't come again. So we are begging him the importation.
Okay, all right. I think your point is well made. Thank you very much. Your point is well made. So now his point is that it sounded very political. He admitted that he seems like a staunch supporter of the ruling government, but he also talked about the importation. So it brings back really the conversation about this neoliberalism that we have today. Should we amend it? Maybe we should go back to and ask Dr. Kwesi Boshe. He's the one who started it, but he didn't start it because he wanted to start. It was a direction by the Structural Adjustment Program of the World Bank. In the mid-80s, we went to the World Bank for money. Our economy completely collapsed in 1983 when the famine came, almost like this kind of situation we have. There was famine in the Sahel area. It affected Ghana. And those of you who were not born at that time, you remember. But even the color of our food changed. Everybody was eating yellow corn and yellow rice and all of that because there was actually no food. At the end of that recession, the Ghanaian economy had completely collapsed. We then went to the World Bank for assistance and the IMF, and they told us that you have to do a structural adjustment of your economy. That structural adjustment introduced neoliberal theory. They call something Washington Consensus, and they call something post-Washington Consensus. Now, these consensus that were agreed at Washington by the economic experts say that African countries were suffering because of too much regulation in the economy. They need to liberalize. Okay, Joseph from Agona Swedro is on the line now. Let's hear you, Joseph.
Yeah, good evening, Paul.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell me.
With regards to what is going on currently in Ghana, yes, I think our agri sector should be looked on to, raise the bar, which I think it will elevate us from this crisis. And I will urge the minister to take care of what is going on, because like what the COVID did to us, we were able to, come out of the COVID when we introduced nose masks locally, which took us from certain, angles. So we should also try to, produce things locally, like we have the sugar factory now. The sugar factory needs the raw material. So we, the locals, we are here. We import everything. Now we get even tomatoes and rice and all those things we import. So we should concentrate and produce our own goods here, which Nigeria has been able to do, and now feeding their own rice on their own. So we should also concentrate, and I'm suggesting we should do corporate farming. We should use this NACO people to do corporate farming than letting them sitting on the offices. No, we should use them, the national service people, the prisoners. We should use them to produce. Secondly, we have our sisters from other countries who are trading and killing our economy from this exchange dollar trading, because they are using fake currencies in their country, more or less. So they used to, get our dollars here and change the dollars here and take it to their country and get the cheaper goods over there and bring it to us and come and sell it cheap, which affects our local people here, but the Buta people are not getting to that angle. And they trade with these people and compete with them. And when they are sharing the same stores with these people, that business people, within the shortest time, they will come with just 2 phones and sell it at cheap price. They will go, and next time they will return, they are coming with 10 phones. Because they get it cheap over there, because they have been able to trade and get the fake currency, which they considered in their country, which they used to kill our currency. So the security, because when we can speaking currency to you, when you go to our airport, we have these people trading currencies in our airports, which should be stopped.
Okay,
and
all right.
Yes.
All right, so you're also calling about regulation. Let's regulate a little bit. Let's
yes.
restrict the free liberal market economy that we have and restrict it a little bit. Okay. I think the point is well made. Hopefully they are listening. It's 12 minutes past the top of the hour, 10 o'clock. We're still
and
on
also there must be a reshuffle.
There must be a reshuffle in the president's government.
Yes. There must be a reshuffle.
All right. Okay. That's well taken. Okay. Thank you very much. We have time enough for other callers. Otherwise, we go to the text messages. If they are you getting text messages? Okay, we go to the text messages and then we take the political story. It's 12 minutes past the top of the hour, 11. Maybe we need a caller from Accra. We've had callers calling us from outside Accra, Kintampo and Upper East and all that. Perhaps we need a caller from Accra where the biggest markets are, where the pinch of the dollar's depreciation is felt the most. Here in Accra, Kumasi and Takoradi, the depreciation is felt the most, isn't it? And it's a major issue. It's a really, really major issue. So let me know if we have another caller. Otherwise, we will go and take the text messages. And then do we? We have John from Accra. John, I hope you're calling from Accra. Not that you heard me say Accra, so you say Accra.
Yes, sir.
Hello, John. Hello.
Yes.
John, what do you do?
Oh. Uncle Paul, my name is John. Good evening.
Yes, John, what do you do?
Yeah. Oh, I'm a civil servant.
Oh, great. All right. Tell us.
Thank you very much. Let me use this opportunity to congratulate you for the good work you are doing, and God help you. Yes, let me also, my colleagues so far have mentioned what I could have said, but what I want to add quickly is the way we are over-mentioning the dollar. Paul, you and I can agree. Look at even reading budgets to Ghanaians. We go to parliament and we are reading it in dollars. You think my old lady at the village understand $1? I mean, let's be fair to ourselves. Whatever we are doing in Ghana, we are talking about dollar. Let's talk about the city. That will save so that people should not be holding that. My colleague, one of my callers, have made mention of importation. This country, we can feed ourselves very well. And you and I know Operation Feed Yourself does this. What happened? Everybody could go to the work and then get back home and do farming and feed. Go to Fumbisi Valleys, the rice there, you can see it yourself. Nasha Valley, rice farm, all those things, we are abandoning them and we are importing rice all over the country. How can we survive? So please, the dollar, the name we are raising it is what have been said. And you yourself, you were alluding, Uncle Paul, you were alluding to the fact that every trader here is now dealing with dollar and selling in dollar. Let's all of us eat what we produce. Therefore, Ghana is made up of cedis. Let's mention the cedi and forget of the dollar. Look, as I am in Accra, when you walk down to Tudu, you see people sitting down and exchanging cedis with dollars. And we all see it and we walk there to do the exchanges. These are some of the things which my colleagues have already mentioned. So let's Ghana take it front, face it and do it. But I am hoping and have the full conviction that the government policies have been put in place, like someone have just mentioned, the one village, one dump, factories sprinkling all over, all of us will get there and Ghana will be stabilized. It is a global, someone have even said it's a global issue. Other countries are also facing it. Their currencies are also going down, but they are not mentioning dollars. Why Ghana, we are mentioning dollar? Let's say, okay, our city is devaluing itself. So let's see how we can make it to be stable to face other West African countries or the major currencies. That's what we should be talking about. That is my contribution. But then good evening once again. And you have done well with your team there. And God bless you so much, Uncle Paul.
Okay, thank you. Was that our fifth caller? Was somebody checking? Fifth or fourth? Okay, all right. Okay, all right. So do we have another caller on the phone? No, not yet. Okay, 17 minutes past the top of the hour 10. We really need to now shift to our social media, and then we come back and do the political story. We'll put our caller sentiments. You can continue to send your sentiments by text now. And then maybe next week, Tuesday, we will now introduce a segment where we can ask Ghanaians to sort of ventilate their economic issues on our program for 15 minutes or so. I may not host that myself. I'll get somebody here to receive the messages, and then I'll be sitting there, and then we can look at it. Whatever you say and whatever has been said here by the second caller, the third caller, the fourth caller, I will submit all these suggestions to the Honorable Charles Edubonhe, the Minister of State and the Ministry of Finance, who can look at it. And I ask him that these are suggestions from ordinary people who are watching our program. What does the Ministry of Finance think, and what can they do about this one? Okay, let me come now to you, straight to Eunice. What calls, text messages are we getting?
Hardy Musa is saying that, Paul, I think it's time to host the finance minister on your show. He must speak to us directly. Aaron Babako Kokomisa is here with a long message on the economic condition. He's saying that the current economic condition is nothing to talk about or discuss because the price of a sachet of water is quoted at 40 pesos, and orange is quoted at 1 cedi and what have you. Fuel prices at the filling pump station can no longer be predicted. Even if the government managed to stabilize or bring down the price, GPRTU of TUC does not all the time, but finds it difficult to also bring the transport fare down. These and others are creating economic hardship in the system. My point is that this current political administration must encourage the pairs of made in Ghana goods and services that in a way would encourage entrepreneurs to do more. There should be tax holidays on all the local firms to encourage industrialization. Authorities in charge of the 1D1F should make sure that policies surrounding 1D1F are realistic and achievable. And lastly, from QZ Media Port, $1 is equal to 150.14 Japanese yen. Japan is the third largest economy in the world. How many factories does Ghana have? Stop talking about dollar and cedi. Over to you, Annette.
Okay, all right. Let's take a caller from Takwa. What's his name again? Kennedy is from Takwa. That will be our last call. Kennedy, let's hear you from Takwa. Takwa is a mining town. Hello, Kennedy.
Hello. Yeah.
Yes. Let's hear you.
Good evening, Paul.
Good evening.
How are you? How are you doing?
I'm good. Well, not so good because of the economy, but it's okay. We'll manage.
Oh, okay. I'm Kennedy. I'm talking from Takwa.
Yes.
With the CDA and then concerning the dollar, how it is depreciating to the dollar. Those of us in the mining industry, especially those of us who are working with the mines, we are paid in dollars. So whenever the dollar goes up, it means that automatically our salary has been increased. So let's say somebody who is taking like $900 as a basic, and then the dollar has gone up. It means that when you convert it to Ghana cedi, automatically you have a higher salary. So those of us here always we pray that the dollar should go up, but not everybody who is working with the mines. So it is otherwise. But what I would say is that with those of us working there, we are okay, and then I don't see anything like. Sometimes I don't see anything bad with how the dollar is going up, but it is rather unfortunate that
that's not very fair to the rest of us. That's not very fair. You said those of you in the mines, you are happy when the dollar goes up.
Yes, because when it goes up, automatically your salary will increase.
But that's just, you are less than 0%, 0.99% of the population.
Yes. We are not. That's why I'm saying that it is rather unfortunate that not even those of us living in the mining industry, not all of us are working there. That is rather unfortunate. But some of us, when it goes up, we are okay, and then we don't see.
I really don't know what to make of this, but okay, thank you very much. It's a contribution, and that's why Good Evening Ghana is a diverse current affairs program. This is a very, very interesting opinion. He says, as far as he's concerned, hooray! Dollar goes up. He's in the mining industry. Nevertheless, never mind if it's 0.000 Ghanaians working in the mining industry. They are fine. They are happy. They are just having fun. Okay. Abdul, what messages do you have?
Okay, so this one is coming from Jacob Koulibaly. He says that, good evening, Paul. For me, it doesn't really affect me too much because I buy high and I sell high. Alhaji Yusuf Hussein says that, Paul, why is the governor of the Bank of Ghana out of the currency conversation? He should be the one explaining to Ghanaians and telling us how they are dealing with the situation. It's like people are taking the bullets for him whilst he and his colleagues enjoy their salaries and allowances. Why? Nana Kutin Amo says that when you observe social media, it looks like some people are deliberately intensifying the speculation to deliberately cause the city to depreciate even further for reasons best known to them. Please, countrymen and women, let's be a bit patriotic and stop the unnecessary speculations and the wild propaganda. Obapa Amasewa says that, I think the government should let the Bank of Ghana bring everything, all currency, to help reduce dollars, because if you are going to China to buy goods, you will just change the cedis to Chinese currency. Same to Turkey and other countries. Cledo David says that in the face of the challenges, what you do is what determines if you are a leader or not. We have an economic wizard as our vice president, but can't boast of strong fundamentals. Today, the cedis is falling like a soldier with a punctured parachute. And lastly, from Kojo Owusu, Ghana needs a bold government who can cancel all importation except oil and pharmaceutical products because we import too much.
Okay, so this is from Ohene Anoche. He says, Paul, it is high time we adopted the Russian model, which is putting a cap on the amount of money that these expatriates can repatriate back to their countries. The quantum of money in dollar terms that leaves the shores of our country is mind-boggling. This is from Alexander Seifa. He says, good evening, Paul. Please, this is how Ethiopia is responding to the pressure on their local currency. The first one, they have ordered businesses that they must register with banks to obtain the foreign currency needed to bring goods into the country. They have also ordered banks to deny foreign currency to businesses importing non-priority goods in an effort to shore up dwindling foreign reserves. They have freezed the import of some 40 products such as alcohol and cars, wall clocks, umbrellas, carpets and soaps, alcohol, perfumes and cigarettes. Can't Ghana do same to ease the pressure on the dollar? The rate at which the city is depreciating is beyond imagination. Right now, what major Ghanaians hope for is how to survive. It is too bad. Felix Ponyo Kweku says, the whole Ministry of Finance is not active at all. A sensible president should have sacked the finance minister long time ago. The city would depreciate further to 20 Ghana cedis by 10th November. And this is from Felix Ponyo Kweku again. He's warning us and saying that we shall force Akufo-Addo to sack the finance minister or we shall cause an uprising. Osman Rashad, he wanted to ask something. He said, I wanted to ask whether other countries use cedis when importing from Ghana as we use dollars for importing. If not, then it is stupid on our side.
Okay. Right, that's interesting. Let me take this message that I'm getting on my phone now, and thank you very much to PMC who sent it to me. The IMF has just issued a statement about their meeting with Ghana, and I'd like to take it right away. Okay, so it says, the statement is issued on October 20th, 2022, that's today. It says, Washington, D.C. An International Monetary Fund team led by Stefani Rude met during October 11th to 19th in Washington, D.C., with Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta, Bank of Ghana Governor Mr. Addison, and their teams to continue discussions on a possible IMF-supported program. At the conclusion of the meetings, Mr. Rude issued a statement, the following statement, quote, the Ghanaian delegation and IMF staff had very fruitful discussions on the authorities' post-COVID program for economic growth and associated policies and reforms that could be supported by a new IMF program. We made good progress in identifying specific policies that will restore macroeconomic stability and lay the foundations for stronger and more inclusive growth. The IMF team and the Ghanaian authorities remain fully committed to reaching agreement on a framework and policy on an IMF-supported program as soon as feasible. Discussions will continue in the weeks ahead with a follow-up mission to take place expeditiously. That means the IMF will be coming to Ghana expeditiously. That's a very short statement from the International Monetary Fund. It came up from the International Monetary Fund right now. Thank you very much for the IMF logo over there. Yes, that's the International Monetary Fund. That's a statement they issued. It's so short, maybe let me take it again so that those who are just joining us will just grab it. Okay, it's as follows. It says, and this is just a statement. It's only 2 paragraphs. And it's written and signed by Mr. Rode, who is Stefani Rode, who is the head of the IMF team. It says the Ghanaian delegation and the IMF staff have had very fruitful discussions on the authorities' post-COVID program for economic growth and associated policies and reforms that could be supported by a new IMF program. We, they said, that's the Ghana team and the IMF team, made good progress in identifying specific policies that will restore macroeconomic stability and lay the foundation for stronger and more inclusive growth. The IMF team and the Ghanaian authorities remain fully committed to reaching an agreement on a framework and policies for an IMF-supported program as soon as feasible. Discussions will continue in the weeks ahead with a follow-up mission to take place. Okay, so as soon as feasible doesn't tell us much because we know that Kaysel Atuforsen, who is the leader of the NDC group in Parliament relating to economy, he's a ranking member of the Committee for Finance and Economy. He says that he doesn't think that the IMF and Ghana will reach any agreement anytime soon. He was also in Washington for the meeting. Okay, so let's take a last text message from you, Mikael, and then we take a break. Then we come and conclude with a big political story still on the NDC's chairmanship contest.
Right. Nana Kwesi says $1 equals 14 cedis. For me, it was wrong for the Bank of Ghana to arrest black market dealers when they knew very well that they could not supply the market with enough dollars. Now, they have intentionally created artificial shortage, and the outcome is what we're expecting. Most Nigerians and Ghanaians who traded in the currencies are punishing the government. Too bad. And Frank Inspector says, Paul, we need an oil refinery. Half of Ghana's cedi-dollar issue will end. Do I continue?
Okay, shall I come in?
I've got one more.
One more, right?
Okay, so this is from Mr. Raf. He says, my problem is even those that have shops rented in town, especially in Makola and the surroundings, do not. Sorry, this is poorly worded. Okay.
All right. So I was going to ask my video editor and producer, Tarek, to find the song "Ghana My Happy Home" so that we can end with it, because it's not a very nice time to talk about our situation, but we can spring up some patriotism in Ghana My Happy Home. There are those who want to make it political. That's fine. I'll read a Twitter message from you. Maybe I should take the Twitter now, shouldn't I? Let me take the Twitter now quickly. Let me take the Twitter now before I come to this. There's a Twitter message from Samata Mensah, my eternal boss, and I'd like to get it for you. So my boss, Samata Mensah, wrote this on Twitter this morning. I'm sure he got a roasting. No, not this one. This is the second, but let me take the first one. Yes, this one. Okay. He says, there are serious political implications for the foreign exchange quagmire with the cedi, and understandably, politicians will take advantage. But I think industry and academia should investigate this 2022 outlying forex situation thoroughly. And you know what he means. He's talking about a very outline here. He's suggesting that this depreciation of the cedi is completely out of sorts in terms of how cedi depreciates. We know how cedi depreciates. You know, somebody was saying towards the end of the year, at the beginning of March, the Chinese New Year, the cedi depreciates. He says he's calling this particular depreciation an outlier. And talk of the word outlier, there's a guy called, the guy who wrote David and Goliath, Malcolm Gladwell. There's a guy called Malcolm Gladwell who's written a book entitled The Outliers, where he talks about how different countries are able to survive even in difficulties. And that's where he uses the word outlier a lot. And Atamesan uses it here as well. Okay, so he got quite roasted for this on Twitter, understandably. And then he came up with the second one. All right, so let's see the second one. It says, when it's all said and done, history will definitely place Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo favorably. Enviable display of wisdom and leadership. God bless our homeland, Ghana, he says. Oh, this tweet is 2020. Okay, this is 2020. So he pulled back his 2020 tweet and put it up again. He repeated it. And he said, when it's all said and done, history will definitely place Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo favorably. enviable display of wisdom and leadership, and I'm sure this was during the COVID era. But now, let's come back to the final story. So when you read all of these depreciation stories, as we did this afternoon in preparing for the program, and then we came across something that is good for Ghana, there is light at the end of the tunnel, isn't there? And I remember during the COVID broadcast, the president said, this one too shall pass, and we shall overcome it. Somehow, we have been able to overcome that, but we now have a new problem. What's the president saying about it? Maybe he has to say something about it, shouldn't he? Okay, all right. So now look at this. This is just a bit of, how shall I call it? It's some nuggets of excitement, if you like, if you're a Ghanaian. Number one, the Ghana passport is the most powerful passport in West Africa. Okay, that excites you, that's good. Most number of best secondary schools in West Africa are in Ghana. Number three, best infrastructure in West Africa ranked by Africa Infrastructure Development Index, AIDI. Ghana is the second best after Cape Verde in West Africa in terms of infrastructure. Ghana is ranked the most peaceful country in West Africa. Ghana has the second biggest economy in West Africa after Nigeria. The Ghana cedi ranked as the strongest currency in West Africa, and they quickly say strongest is different from best performing. They call it strongest. But if you are strong and you're not best performing, what does it mean? Anyway, these are difficult times. 7, the largest port in West Africa and West and Central Africa is found in Ghana, is the Tema port. Number 8 is the best airport in West Africa is found in Ghana, is the Kotoka International Airport. Number 9 is the Ghana and the Cape Verde are the only countries in West Africa ranked in the middle best quality of life. Ghana and Cape Verde are the only countries in West Africa ranked with middle best quality of life. And the last one is Accra is the best place to move into West Africa, and the most visited place in West Africa is also Accra. It's also the second richest city after Lagos. That's to be expected. Number 11, Ghana is the West African country with the highest European population. That's also to be expected because of our liberal economy. Largest social science faculty building in West Africa is found in KNUST. The biggest mall in West Africa is in Ghana, West Hills Mall and the Ghana International Mall. The biggest artificial lake in the world, Lake Volta, is in Ghana. Biggest indoor market, Kumasi Central Market, is also in Ghana. The biggest hotel in Africa, the Rock City Hotel, is in Ghana. It's in Kwewu. The biggest interchange in West Africa is the Pokwasi Interchange. It's in Ghana. The longest canopy walk at Peninsula Resort is in Ghana. And the best beaches are in Ghana. The best dam in West Africa is also in Ghana. The largest drone delivery system in the world is in Ghana. Ghana has the highest percentage of people having access to electricity, 85%, and water. Ghana has the cheapest data cost, $0.46, and electricity cost, 0.61 in West Africa. Ghana, again, has the biggest hospital in West Africa by area with the University of Ghana Medical Center, and by bed capacity with the Kolebu Teaching Hospital, which has 2,000 bed capacity. Ghana has the highest literacy rate in West Africa. More to come. Ghana is the most politically stable country in West Africa. We know that already. Ghana is the first sub-Saharan. That one we don't say it anymore. We've said it for 65 years. It must mean something. Otherwise, there's no point saying that we are the first country. Okay. Ghana means warrior king. And was the title used by the rulers of the ancient Ouagadougou Empire, famously known as the Ghana Empire. Kente originated from Ghana. And okay, all of this history is good. Ghana has the biggest man-made lake. All right, all the history is important, but it must translate it into something. The capital of Ghana is Accra. The currency of Ghana is called the cedi, and is one of the strongest currencies in Africa. Well, we don't know about that right now. The cedi is depreciating against the dollar. The Ghana currency is, Ghana is currently the largest producer of gold in Africa and the second largest producer of cocoa in the world. That's correct. Ghana is in Western Africa between Cote d'Ivoire and Togo and borders the Gulf of Guinea in the Atlantic Ocean. Ghana has the biggest greenhouse in West Africa. That's interesting. Ghana has the biggest resort in West Africa and Central Africa, the Safari Valley Resort. Ah, really? There's the biggest resort? All right. Ghana has the biggest shea butter factory in Africa. Ghana's president is the only West African president to be awarded African of the Year. Ghana is the most digitized nation in West Africa. Ghana Black Stars has won the most AFCON in West Africa. This must be a very clever guy who sat down to put out historical information that we all have. It's break time now. When we come back, why is Johnson Asiedu Nkatia pandering to President Mahama so that President Mahama will perhaps push him onto the NDC chairmanship? After the break, that's our conversation.
A state-of-the-art facility built with your family needs in mind. A medical center positioned for all your fertility problems and other diseases. Medimosis Clinic and Prostate Center. Our goal is to help our patients achieve and maintain optimal health. We have fully functional OPD laboratories in all our branches. Do you have problems urinating? Medimosis is the ultimate solution. Our Prostacure X capsules and Prostacure Herbal Tea treat prostate problems. Afromosis capsules gives you maximum performance. And for the ladies, Femacure X capsules solves all your menstrual problems. Locate Medimosis Clinic and Prostate Center at Adenta Barrier near the traffic light. Ashaman, Ajekojo, Kumasi, Ahinima Kokobing, and in Accra, Ministries after the Ghana Highways Yard. Call 0244 068 447. We accept National Health Insurance card and all other private insurance card. Medimosis Clinic and Herbal Center, your ultimate solution for prostate problems.
Asampayetia Obayansa Fusu Omunibia Wankana Sam Zema Futu Sam Kakre wa Supeme.
The Greater Accra Coordinating Council and then MMDA's OCYFE, with support from Zoom Lion Ghana Limited, are enforcing the Bylaws 2021 Section 2 to 6, which mandate all owners and occupiers of premises, residential, commercial, industrial, to keep their frontages, drains, and their premises clean at all times. Also, we are to grade our frontages and register with the accredited waste service providers for the management of both solid and liquid waste. A person commits an offense if he or she failed to comply with the above bylaws and is liable to a penalty of less than 100 penalty units and not exceeding 150 penalty units, or a term of imprisonment of not less than 6 months and not more than 12 months, or both. Your earth, your environment, so keep it clean from waste and pollution.
2 tickets to go and watch this World Cup. I can't afford this.
Masa, take that trip with Amma. You both deserve it. You be with the end. Slow down, bro. With HD Plus, you win double. Watch the World Cup feely, as if you are in Qatar, and stand the chance to win prizes, including a trip for 2 to Dubai in December in the HD Plus or the double promo.
In your life, after watching the World Cup, Amma and I will be chilling in Dubai. All I need to do is to enter the HD Plus or double promo.
Purchase an HD Plus decoder with a special sticker. Watch the World Cup matches in quality pictures and stand the chance to fly to Dubai with your loved one. Register.
To help meet your business and private printing needs successfully, we have just the right products and services at Appointed Time Printing Limited. We specialize in digital printing, offset printing, packaging, and security printing. Our innovative designs and complete professional touch on our print products such as posters, flyers, brochures, magazines, whole cards, and any other print solution of your choice ensure that our customers are always happily connected to their audience. With our security printing section, our clients are assured of a highly secured and confidential work process from start to finish. At Appointed Time, our prices are very competitive. Locate us at the old GNTC building near Swansea Shopping Arcade, Accra. Contact us on 0501 454165, 0501 454167. Appointed Time Printing Limited. Our printing is a solution.
Your story will expire by tomorrow morning. Sorry, I was speaking to my sports reporter. I was convincing him that his story about the Black Stars 30 will expire tomorrow morning. Let's wait for Otoado to come tomorrow morning, and then we can discuss it. All right, sorry about that. It's now 18 minutes to the top of the hour. We'll wrap up this very quickly. We're going to do the Asiedu Nketia matter. I'm sure most of you are waiting for that. I just love talking about Asiedu Nketia. Why? Because he's my good friend, isn't he? I've told you many times that we used to be neighbors and we used to have our Sunday morning conversations on the street. And what did we talk about? We talked about NDC and NPP and all of that. So that is a good friend of mine. So I'll come to him. Now, though, yesterday, there was a bit of social media activity commenting on Supreme Court judges being interviewed by Parliament. The concern from the opposition is that President Akufo-Addo is appointing too many judges. But the constitutional requirement is also there. We're not going to get into that. You can look at the constitutional provision yourself. But it is true that in President Akufo-Addo's tenure, he has had the opportunity to appoint judges. That is true. In fact, next year, President Akufo-Addo will be called upon to appoint a third Chief Justice in his 2-year term. Not many presidents in their 2-year term appoint a third Chief Justice. Let's just do a cursory analysis of it, and let's go back to 1992. Fly Lieutenant Rawlings inherited this presidency with Philip Archer, who was already Chief Justice, and then he sort of confirmed his appointment. So Philip Archer did the inauguration of 1992. Then in 1996, I believe Philip Archer again, and then came Justice Aban. And it was Justice Aban was appointed by Flight Lieutenant Rawlings, I believe, just around the end of Mr. Rawlings' tenure. So Mr. Rawlings appointed Philip Archer and appointed Justice Aban. President Kufuor inherited Justice Aban, then appointed Justice Redu. I remember that. And then President Kufuor appointed Justice Redu #1, Justice Kingsley Akwa #2, and Justice Justice Georgina Wood. So yes, President Kufuor also appointed 3. He appointed first Justice Redu, then Justice Akwa, Kingsley Akwa, and then Justice Georgina Wood. So President Kufuor appointed 3. Then let's come to Mills. President Mills inherited Georgina Wood, did not have the opportunity to appoint a Chief Justice. He probably appointed some Supreme Court judges. I think His Lordship Gabriel Poaman was appointed by President Mills. Then President Mahama inherited Justice Georgina Wood, and also did not have the opportunity to appoint a Supreme Court judge. And President Akufo-Addo inherited Justice Georgina Wood, and then she retired. And then President Akufo-Addo appointed Sophia Ekufo, Ladyship Sophia Ekufo, appointed later on Mr. Justice Eni Eboa, who is leaving next year, and President Akufo-Addo, all things being equal, will appoint a third Chief Justice. So he and President Kufuor. So it looks like the MPP people have had more judges to appoint, haven't they? Is it nature that is preparing it that way? I don't know. Let's look at the list now. All right. So these are the Supreme Court judges present now. So we have His Lordship Justice Eni Eboa. He was appointed in June 2008. We have Mr. Justice Jones Doche. So if you can put on the screen, okay, yes, in that order. So I'm reading from left to right at the top. Justice Eni Eboa, Justice Jones Doche, Justice Gabriel Poaman, appointed in 2015. That will be President Mahama's appointment. And then we have Mr. Justice Paul Bafo-Boni, appointed in 2008. Then we have Mrs. Agnes Doji, appointed in 2018. Mr. Nene Ofori Amegache, appointed in 2018. Professor Niashi Kote, appointed in 2018. And Madam Justice Mariama Owusu, appointed in 2019. Then you have Mrs. Justice Avril Lovelace Johnson, appointed in 2019. Justice Gertrude Tokonu, appointed in 2019. Justice Clemens Honyenuga, appointed in 2020. Justice Amadou Tanko, appointed in 2020. Justice Henrietta Mensah Bonsu, appointed in 2020. And of course, my good mentor, Mr. Justice Yoni Kulende, appointed in 2020 as well. Now, here is the constitutional article, and we are just walking you through a certain series. We'll do this for just 5 minutes, and then we'll come back to it another time. Okay, so in Article 1452, it says, a justice of the Superior Court or a chairman of a regional tribunal shall vacate his office in the case of a justice of Supreme Court or the Court of Appeal on attainment of the age of 70 years. So that's how the retirements come about. So when a justice of the Supreme Court attains the age of 70, they don't retire at 60, they are retired at 70. At the age of 70, he must leave. Okay, what's the implication of this Article 1452 on the current Supreme Court, and why does it give President Akufo-Addo the opportunity to appoint another judge? Okay, let's move on. All right, so based on Article 1452, these judges will be leaving the bench next year. Okay, who are they? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. As many as 6 are headed out next year. Who are they? His Lordship Justice Eni Eboa, the big Chief Justice, is gone. His good friend, and sometimes they call him Deputy CJ. His Lordship Justice Jones Doche, the other senior most member, is gone. Her Ladyship Agnes Doji is gone. My own good professor, Nia Ashikote, his lordship is gone. His lordship, Nena Megache, is also gone. And then Justice Clemens Honyenuga is also gone. Sorry, viewers, we have called Nena Megache Nia Ashikote. That's wrong. So the photograph down, let's put a photograph again. Let's make that correction. It's important. So the photograph down, first from left, the gentleman before the books is not Nia Ashikote. He is his lordship, Mr. Justice Nene Ofoi Amegache. All right. And then next to him is Mr. Justice Clemens Honyenuga. They are all going away, including the Chief Justice. So the President will have to appoint a new Chief Justice. All right. Now, these are those who have been nominated that you'll be watching them on television yesterday. It begins with Her Ladyship, Madam Justice Barbara Frances Akayesu, who is now ascending to the Supreme Court. Then you have Mr. Justice George Kumsin, also ascending to the Supreme Court from the Court of Appeal. So is Barbara Akayesu from the Court of Appeal. And then Mr. Justice Abidu Asiedu, also from the Court of Appeal. And then Mr. Justice Yao Jewu is coming from the High Court. There's a lot of concern as to why he's coming straight from the High Court to the Supreme Court and jumping the Court of Appeal. All right, these are what my researchers call the potential nominees for Chief Justice. So you have Gabriel Poaman, he just limited to the senior most at the bench and thought that one of them will be selected by His Excellency as Chief Justice. We don't know what His Excellency will do, but we would like to also say that His Excellency has the power to appoint anyone, even a barrister who is below the age of 70, who has done 15 years at the bar, to become Chief Justice. His Excellency has a latitude to appoint, but my researchers pulled up this as the senior most people. So they have Mr. Gabriel Poaman, he's 62 years old. You have Mr. Justice Paul Bafoboni, he's 65 years old. And Justice Mariama Owusu is 68 years old. And these are the senior most. After the retirement, this will be the senior most judges. Will the President select one of these as Chief Justice? We don't know. Will the President go beyond them and select other justices on the Supreme Court who may not be senior, who may have arrived at the Supreme Court? Maybe the President will do, I don't know. We have to wait to see what the President and his advisors will do. Okay, it says here that a person shall not be qualified for the appointment as a Justice of the Supreme Court unless he's of high moral character and proven integrity and is not less than 15 years standing as a lawyer. So that's the appointment of the Chief Justice. We'll talk again about this in coming soon, because it's going to be a big topic as we get into next year. By June, Chief Justice Eni Ebua will go. So by March, the President will indicate where his appointment is going. He probably will announce the appointment, so there will be a smooth transition at the judiciary. It's a big situation for lawyers and justices. On Tuesday, I'll come and talk about the difference between the Court of Appeal and Appeals Court. I wanted to do that now, but it will take more of our time. But on Tuesday, I'll talk about the difference between that, because sometimes we say Appeals Court, sometimes we say Court of Appeal. What does it mean? What's the difference? On Tuesday, we'll have that. 10 minutes more to go. We have time now for Johnson Asiedu Nkatia. Before Johnson Asiedu Nkatia's thing, I'd like you to play me Shatawale on the keyboard. It says, lean on me. Lean on me. I want Asiedu Nkatia to lean on me, and I want to lean on him so that he's my friend. I can call on him anytime. This is Shatawale putting us together. Lean on me.
So I have this, song that.
But can you teach me? Can you teach me? So
Okay, so.
My level, my level,
Okay.
My level. Bandana for Ghana, bang bang.
Okay, so don't worry, you're going too pro.
Too pro, eh?
Too pro,
Okay.
So I play stuff that, motivates me anytime I enter the studio and I want to work. I have this song that I play so much.
That motivates you. I like that. Yeah.
Lean on me,
Oh, lean on me.
Yeah, lean on me is a movie.
When you are not strong.
Yeah.
I'll be your friend.
Yeah, I'll be your friend.
Give us that one. That's a good song. I've not heard it in a while.
So
viewers, you can sing with us. You can sing along.
Okay.
Shatawale is going to deliver Lean on Me. The microphone should be with Christabel. I said that.
Lean on me. It's okay.
So many people have been asking themselves, and I'm delighted that the journalist in the interview that we showed you the other day, we'll show you again today, he actually asked Asiedu Nketia that question. A lot of people are saying that, but why is Asiedu Nketia and Ofosu Ampofo competing over one chair when both of them can be in the national executive of the NDC, and in fact, when both of them may be needed based on the experience to be in the national executive of the NDC for 2024. There are two strong arms and there are two strong people, and the NDC is used to, since 2008, having both of them around the executive. Ofosu Ampofo was national organizer before he went to be minister for local government, before he went to be chairman of GAPOA, and then he came back as chairman of the party. Asiedu Nketia has been the eternal general secretary from 2008. He's always been general secretary of the party. Okay, so people are asking the question, why are they competing? What's the point? They don't understand it. They think Asiedu Nketia is the eternal general secretary. He should keep it. In any case, the general secretary is the chief executive of the party. Well, for the NDC, the chairman is the leader of the party in opposition, but the general secretary is the one that runs the day-to-day event of the party. Okay, so really, they shouldn't. Do you know why? Okay, there's a guesswork here. The allegation is that both of them are looking at 2024, okay? Both Asiedu Nketia, especially Asiedu Nketia. Ofosu Ampofo is already in the chair, so he's in pole position. Asiedu Nketia is looking at 2024 and thinking that, look, let me take a great look and a critical look at the future of this party that I'm leading. Now, he's seeing the leadership contest this way. In 2024, John Mahama is running most likely with Nana Opoku-Agyeman if John Mahama wins the contest, and many people think he's going to win. Dr. Dufour's threat is growing. And so those who support John Mahama won the elections earlier because Dr. Dufour's threat is growing. The news that we are picking up indicate that in the branch elections in Ashanti, Dr. Dufour won a significant part of it. When we say Dr. Dufour won, what does it mean? It's political talk, isn't it? It means that people Dr. Dufour funded won their branch stuff. So they are delegates. They are going to vote. So Dr. Dufour's supporters are excited that at least in Ashanti we are killing it 80% or so. If all Ashanti votes, branch and others vote for Dr. Dufour, he may not get 100% of the votes. He may not get 50%, but he's getting a significant part of it. What does that mean? It might get the party into a negotiation about who becomes running mate, etc., etc. So all of these political possibilities are available. Now, Johnson Asiedu Nketia, being a very clever man, is looking at the situation and thinking that, if John Mahama wins this and he goes with Nana Opoku-Agyeman into 2024, win or lose, it is untenable for John Mahama to represent himself. If John Mahama loses 2024, they think he cannot represent himself as a leader of the party. It will be too much, wouldn't it? If John Mahama wins 2024 and becomes the elected president, he still cannot present himself for the next election. Whichever way you look at it, the NDC will have 2 years. After 2024, by 2026, they should be electing a new leader. Who is this new leader going to be? Who and whom are going to influence the choice of this new leader? Johnson Asiedu Nketia wants to put himself in pole position, not just to influence that decision, but to present himself as the leader of the party. That's what the speculation is right now, and that's why he's running for chairmanship. Because you see, if President Mahama goes in and loses the election, it will be untenable for him to continue. That if he loses the election, constitutionally he can run. But politically, it will be untenable, wouldn't it? Okay. If he wins the election, constitutionally, he's barred from running. Now, if he has a running mate in a vice president called Nana Opoku-Agyeman, she doesn't have the gravitas to take over the party. Her biggest supporter is Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa, who is young, but very influential, now a front bencher. But that's really what she has. She doesn't have the political spread and the gravitas to control the NDC in the absence of John Mahama to become the leader, as Dr. Bawumia is seemingly doing with the MPP. Because as you know, Dr. Bawumia has been there from 2008, 2012 election petition, so he has been able to gather sufficient gravitas to lead the MPP, and that's why he's in a leadership contest, okay? Jane Nana Opoku-Agyeman may not be able to have time to do that. She's going to run the campaign now. She ran the campaign of 2016, not significantly, losing in her own constituency, etc. Was not a great story. But it looks like John Mahama is going to present her again. So she's going to run again. So she's going to be, if John Mahama wins the election, she's going to be vice president. Now, vice president is next to the president. She's the second in command. But then if John Mahama cannot run for 2028, the lot should normally be falling on her. She doesn't have the gravitas. So whoever is chairman of the party will have a big say in that decision. And that's why Johnson Asiedu Nketia wants to be chairman of the party, so that he can present himself for the 2028 election in case President Mahama wins or loses, whichever way President Mahama's fortune go in 2024. He's out of Ghana's politics after that election. He's like Nana Akufo-Addo is out now. President Mahama of 2024 is completely out. If he loses, it's untenable to come. If he wins, he's bad constitutionally. Asiedu Nketia is looking at this and said, should I leave this for Fosun Pofu just so that he can just slip in and become the leader of the party? No. I want to be leader of the party too. I'll challenge him for the chairmanship and I'll win it. Okay. Now in this chairmanship race, John Dramani Mahama is perhaps the most important equation in this. Not so much that he has the power of the purse, not that, but also because he is the undisputed leader of the party. And Fosun Pofu made the point in his statement that they don't have a former president. They don't even have a former vice president. So for the NDC, their former president and their former vice president is united in one person, John Dramani Mahama. So he's in a very powerful position. Whoever is able to secure the 100% support of John Mahama for this chairmanship race wins the race. So what does Asiedu Nketia do? He begins to grant interviews and is pandering towards John Mahama by pointing out to John Mahama that the people that I'm battling with, they are all with your opponent, Dr. Duffuor. I can understand that John Mahama must have a lot of disquiet about Dr. Duffuor's incursions into the presidential race. If I'm John Mahama, I'll feel the same. Now, what is this? At the last minute, I've run 2012, 2016, 20. I did so well in 2020. What is Dr. Duffuor coming into this race for? He's just disturbing us. That will be John Mahama's sentiment, and it will be legitimate sentiment. So, Asiedu Nketia is plugging into this, telling John Mahama that the people who are against me, they are Duffuor's people. You see, they are Duffuor's people. So if I win, Duffuor is out. If they win, they're going to disturb you. And this contest is happening before the presidential contest. That's why Asiedu Nketia is clever. But we are always here to identify his cleverness and show it to you. So he grabs the interview and listen to what he says. It's a 4-minute tape. He pushes everybody into Dr. Duffuor's camp. And he leaves himself into John Mahama's camp. Have a listen.
Because they don't have any rules.
What Jan Ekasai will show you also. Or no, why you jump pen? Or there was some fire you jump pen. He's not happy some women in the election. And who said, or say council of elders should intervene?
And who said, now, say, or no, say they should intervene. Also, say they have intervened. Which one is it?
No, I mean, Casa. But
the information out there, they say council of elders shall intervene. There's nothing like that.
But on the count,
you say your Jan's judgment is better than any other. And so what?
And national organizer na general secretary or deputy organizer to for some of no ye organizer. Nti ono mo ye dwuma pe. And office we party no more than one leaving the party.
Na ya Jan no cancer no. Onim say Kwabena Duffuor ne President Mahama, omu nyina kambo mu a emu party no. So according to only logic no. Then okukudi campaign manager for Dr. Duffuor say onomfa competition mra. Na oba beka say competition ebe divide the party.
I see.
So it tells you say ono ankasa ni statement now making no any logical
or
contradicting no. But I don't want to discuss those things.
Yeah.
But Saudi we need to for more. Almost everybody else who is attacking my decision to contest, have something to do with Dr. Duffuor's campaign. Say a coincidence here, minim.
Oh, I see. Me share that money and trending. Apart from you're watching Nakasa.
And now Cocoa the whole.
Oh, Cocoa so say what dear. A crembias of the first one woman chairman and your bay on what?
Wouldn't say or no so on Dr. Duffuor and
minim, sir.
Tamwa ye at a mills ne anniversary.
Yeah.
Tell him so no event here organize their confront two party no. Dr. Adufo supporters in Ekotena.
Oh, I see.
In support of Kokoin the whole event here. Oh yeah, AD5 party. Intino se nipa sa na from the beginning no. Wamukra can say Dr. Adufo ena all sponsor me mama be chairman. Nama pevu we say ono betimi abeye flabera. Say no so ti.
No.
Very well. Na say eye no kura na che say me Dr. Adufo nenam.
Right.
How come say womo attack me no nyina so Dr. Adufo come?
Joanna sponsor, Joanna sponsor.
No, I'm asking.
No, but visa question, Joanna.
David, let's answer those questions first. How come say me the member say Dr. Adufo the member Nama be pevu we say the ambitions of becoming a flag bearer ebe materialize here. Say all those who are with Dr. Adufo should be happy. Say me member nama timi aba be yi John Mahama hodi Dr. Adufo number. Enti womo so a edi na chi a womo ne no nam no. Say womo so womo ambition ne say Dr. Adufo be flag bearer. How come say chairman bi ba onu na be pevu we am Dr. Adufo abeye flag bearer? The same campaign group for no more attack is our chairman chief candidate.
Now
there is no logic.
But Mahama say will be son of our approval, so we should go and contest like Amasa when Nakasa only didn't come.
Oh, Nkoma menim panimfo edidi no party no no. I don't come out to talk about it.
We home support. I mean the former president Mahama.
Nkoma memadi ewo panimfo no animu no. Enya dia for public consumption.
But we say His Excellency John Mahama
support. Obe contested position. As I say, what says he was strength say. Ajuma esi me kwa koyi. Do I have what it take to do it?
Okay.
So you see, Johnson Asidu Nketia. You saw his strategy. He's trying to tell President Mahama that, look, the people who are against me, they are also against you. So you're my man, you know, let's push this together. I'm not sure what the Sampofo's response is going to be. But I say Nketia is a clever man. We'll leave you with that. Thanks for watching. If you're watching on Facebook, keep your comments on this particular Asidu Nketia decorous, okay? He's my friend, and I'm leaning on him and he's leaning on me, you understand? All right. One day you turn on your TV, Good Evening Ghana, he'll be sitting here and we're going to have a big interview. So keep your comments decent. But we are watching him. You know, he's clever, so we are watching him. When he does his clever things, we'll come and show you that, you see, he's done it again. He's very clever. That's what he's doing. And we are pursuing him all the way into the NDC chair. But that's it for Good Evening Ghana. It's been a very difficult week, hasn't it? And today's economic situation and the dollar situation is completely bizarre. But we hope that it will get better. Next week, we'll keep an eye on the returnees from Washington, Ministry of Finance and Bank of Ghana. They have information, or they should have information for us. It's a pleasure coming your way. And as I said, we have to end with Ghana My Happy Home, because at least that will give us some hope. Thanks for watching. Good night.
Ghana, my happy home, land of rich resources, land of mighty talent, racial tolerance, justice and freedom. Ghana, my happy home, home of the brave and virtuous, land of smiling people and charming faces and glorious culture. I will strive for thee.